The end has finally arrived. And to say that this beta was a roller coaster overall would be an understatement. The final kids are here, and after the massacre that was Dan Heng's V3, we now have the final V5 version, and it's sad. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's go through all the changes first, before having a final talk about Dan Heng. So V4, first of all, finally fixed his issues with the traces by removing 10% and replacing it with 5 speed traces, bringing him to 102 speed without any relics. 5 speed is 1 max substat roll, so it's overall pretty good. Staying on the topic of base stats, his base attack got increased by roughly 100, which is great. And his ultimate ability now has decent shield values as well. Oh, and his ult now costs 5 energy less, which basically counteracts the lost 10 energy per rotation Dan Heng had, since the dragon does not trigger his energy passive anymore. And speaking of energy passive, that thing also got buffed by 1 energy. Thanks Hoyo. Dan Heng's skill now gives 400 base shield, which is important since his skill dictates how big Dan Heng's maximum shield amount can be. With these buffs and the base attack buff, you now thankfully don't 100% need his light cone anymore. This is great. Good job, Hoyo. Huh? V5 changes. At this point, I should honestly be able to predict these kind of things. So Dan Heng's attack buff from the light cone got nearly tripled, which obviously with his buffed base attack can result in very high shields. The shield effect buff got removed from it, but attack is way better anyways since it also increases the attack buff he gives to allies. Is it a must pull? No. Does it make him feel way better to play? Yes it does. It absolutely does. Another masterful move done by Homo Games. And lastly, he in the literally very last moment got a brand new passive where the dragon will now apply an extra small bonus shield every time it acts to the ally with the smallest shield. So all in all, his trace issues got fixed. The 10 less energy per rotation got counteracted by his ult costing less in general, and his massive sustain nerfs got counterbuffed as well by him having way more base attack, making attack increases more relevant on him, while also giving back the high survivability he was capable of. Now, you might have already wondered this since the video started. Where's my energy? And the harsh truth is, I'm tired, boss. And instead of feeling anger or hatred, I am instead feeling immense sadness at the thought that this is it. There's nothing left, and this is what's going to come to the game. There is no saving hidden V6 that will bring back all the fun synergies Dan Heng had or make him more flexible at relics again. Now, you might say, oh no, this shitty drama content creator is crying again, even though he got so much buffed. You have to read that in a nerd voice, by the way. I don't have the energy to mock it at that point. But yeah, at this point, let me quote my viewer, Katefia Worshipper, as he explained it way better than I ever could. They broke Dan Heng's legs in V3 and gave him a wheelchair in V4. What a generous and fun-loving dev team. When you dissect the V4 and V5 buffs, they are pretty much just chasing and repairing what they destroyed in V3. It's like sleeping with your girlfriend's cousin who happens to be your cousin as well, only to be caught by your mom in the end. The damage is already done, and quite frankly, things can never be the way they were before all of this. No matter how much you try to fix it, it will never be the way it was in V1. We now have a very strong sustainer who does just that. No fun synergies, no room for cool team building or wacky creative relic ideas. Nothing. Because at the end of the day, we have to accept that too much fun in my video game is unfortunately not allowed. And I will happily disagree with anyone on the synergies. I don't think they were broken, quite frankly. All you needed to do was adjust the rest of the kit with his synergies in mind. He would have been the ultimate free-to-play character who new players could slot in with any of their newly acquired units and have so much fun in the game, but that's already the point, right? He's free. so he doesn't deserve to give too much fun to a new and veteran player, right? We can't have our units be too unique. He has to be just another shielder who has some super small niche synergies without any super outstanding personality. Maybe that's just fate. Heroes don't always win. They sometimes lose, and all you can do as a normal human is to watch them get butchered by the villains and realize that there is no happy end. Now, is Dan Heng itself strong? Yes, of course he is. He is just a hollow shell compared to what he was in V1, but he is very strong and will be an incredible unit for both new and veteran players if he is free. You will be able to use him in any non-HP based team and he will do you great service. He also has a very strong E1 with 18% respan, which is amazing. He's great, but it breaks my heart to know what we could have gotten. Why am I crying? It has to be the background music, I'm sorry. This marks the end of my Dan Heng Beta review. It was an interesting ride and it really pains me to not be able to give you the high energy I had in V1. It really does. Maybe there is an alternative universe out there where we were all happy, laughing, having fun, and doing laundry and taxes together with V1 Dan Heng, but this isn't that universe. If you made it this far, do me a favor and leave a like and subscribe. It really helps me get through all of these betas, and now would also be a good time to follow the channel with the Siren beta coming up next. If you are one of the few who watched all the videos of my Dan Heng trilogy so far, I want to once again thank you, and also thank you for commenting. It really makes my day reading all of your comments. Thank you all so much for all of your support again, and I will hopefully see you in the next one.